every question is that there's not enough money in the budget, and our solution is reevaluate your budget.
Tonight, a series of labor disputes unfolding across the West. Union workers in a variety of industries demanding more from their bosses. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. From the Pacific Northwest to Southern California, there are several different strikes underway tonight. Teachers and healthcare workers are walking the picket lines in 2 different states. And later this week, hospitality workers are set to join the mix. We begin tonight's coverage of these labor disputes across the West with Fox 12's Julia Lopez, who spoke with teachers who walked off the job today in Albany, Oregon.
Fair contract now!
Bells rang out to empty classrooms this morning in Albany. The district's teachers are on the picket line.
We believe that the teachers should have a choice in what's best for the students that they work with directly.
The Educators Association and the Greater Albany School District have been in negotiations for over 3 months. Teachers are asking for a 40-hour work week, more prep time, student support, and a cost of living wage increase. Superintendent Andy Gardner says the district left the negotiation table at 2 a.m. today feeling distressed, while Lovejoy says the union feels unheard.
Being heard, we have agreed already to behavior and how we manage that. We have heard and agree with their statement of compensation. I think this group behind me has leaned in and we have listened and we have engaged in side meetings with them, but I don't think that there's been a lack of effort on our part or a callousness of any kind.
He says they've responded to all 34 articles brought by the union, including wage increases of 14% to 17% over 3 years, compared to the union's proposal of 22.5% to 26.35%. While he acknowledges raises need to happen, the district says even its own offer will increase costs by at least $5 million.
And the answer to almost every question is that there's not enough money in the budget, and our solution is reevaluate your budget.
Gardner says the union also demands a hard class size cap, which administrators feel doesn't allow room for adjustments related to class behavior.
I love teachers!
At a rally Tuesday, many students used the day off school to show support for their teachers.
Teachers don't get breaks to go to the bathroom. They don't get support with students when students are causing a disturbance or a safety hazard as much as would be needed. And that's not only unfair for them, it's unfair for students who have to be expected to learn and benefit from that environment.
Both sides agree students come first.
This is a huge hardship on families. We've had several queries from parents who are going to lose the days that they were saving for Christmas.
As soon as the community says you're asking for too much, we'll back off. As soon as our teachers say stop, we'll stop and we'll settle with what the district has given us. But until then, this fight is real.
And that was Fox 12's Julia Lopez reporting for us tonight. Contract negotiations in Oregon are set to resume tomorrow. Now, across Southern California, striking Kaiser Permanente employees were back on picket lines today. The mental health workers are calling for better pay and working conditions. Their strike started last month. Kaiser did issue a statement on the labor dispute that says, quote, "We have put a strong offer on the table and are eager to do the hard work needed at the table to reach an agreement that benefits both our valued mental health workers and the patients we all serve." Today was the deadline for tens of thousands of Boeing employees in the Pacific Northwest to return to work after the end of their weeks-long strike. Fox 13's Taylor Winkle has the details tonight on the compromise that gets machinists back to the work of building planes.
So that strike ended on the 4th last Monday when machinists voted to approve that new contract. Some of those machinists got back to work as soon as they could on the 6th, but for the rest of them, today is the deadline to badge back in, and it's a day that comes with big changes. The Machinists Union is calling this new contract life-changing. Now, before the strike, machinists made an average of $75,000 a year, but over the last few weeks, they negotiated a 38% wage increase, which will increase the average pay to $119,000 over the next 4 years. But Boeing might not be out of the woods just yet. They were already on rough financial footing before the strike, which dumped salt in the wound. For their part, Boeing said in a statement, quote, "While the past few months have been difficult for all of us, we are all part of the same team. We will only move forward by listening, and working together. There is much work ahead to return to the excellence that made Boeing an iconic company. Now, all of this comes as Boeing just announced today that Avias Solutions Group, that is a group that leases aircraft to other companies, just put in an order for at least 40 737 MAX jets. For now, reporting in Renton, I'm Taylor Winkle, Fox 13 News.
And what the machinists did not get in that deal is a return of their pension plan. That program ended nearly 10 years ago. Las Vegas will likely be the next place here in the West where we see workers walking off the job. You can see, here's a live look tonight, these live images from EarthCam showing the bright lights of the Strip there in the distance. Culinary union workers at one of those casinos are ready to start striking on Friday. The Virgin Las Vegas workers say they want a new contract that secures a better future for their families. Their previous contract expired in June of last year. Virgin Hotels issued a statement on the labor dispute that says, in part, quote, "The union has yet to cooperate with our attempts to reach a good faith agreement. Throughout negotiations, the union has engaged in take it or leave it bargaining, refusing to move off a position that it knows is not economically viable." This open-ended strike is set to start a week before Las Vegas hosts the 2024 Formula One Las Vegas Grand Prix. That event is expected to attract hundreds of thousands of visitors to the city. We move on here to the elections, and Arizona's newest U.S. Senator-elect says he is ready to get to work. After an entire week of ballot counting, the Associated Press tonight is projecting Democratic Congressman Ruben Gallego will win this Senate race over Republican Kari Lake. He joined other newly elected Democratic senators in Washington, D.C. today. They met with current Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Congressman Gallego says he understands that he will need to reach out to Republicans and Democrats to deliver what Arizona voters want.
I needed to earn the support of all Arizonans. And so I went out and I talked to everybody. And I also didn't agree with them all the time. And they didn't agree with me all the time. But we had respectful conversations. And at the end of the day, we walked away sometimes with support and sometimes we didn't.
Lake has not yet publicly conceded in this race. Republicans have already won enough U.S. Senate seats to take control of that chamber. It remains unclear tonight which party will control the U.S. House of Representatives. The votes are still being counted in some close races across the country, including several we're keeping an eye on here in the West. Right now, Republicans have won 216 seats. Democrats have won 207. The first party to secure 218 seats wins control of the House. We're learning more tonight about how the newly elected Los Angeles County District Attorney will handle his predecessor's push to have the Menendez brothers resentenced. DA-elect Nathan Hochman says that he is going to have to evaluate all of the evidence that current DA George Gascon has before making any decisions.
I've got to actually look at the thousands of pages of confidential prison files that I don't have access to, read thousands of pages of transcript from months-long trials. I've got to speak to the prosecutors, law enforcement, the defense, victim family members, and only then will I be in a position to determine if the current resentencing request is just.
Eric and Lyle Menendez admit they killed their parents decades ago. They claim they shot them to death after suffering years of emotional and sexual abuse at the hands of their father. Hochman says the only realistic way the brothers would be released before Thanksgiving is if Governor Gavin Newsom grants them clemency. Hochman will be sworn in as LA County District Attorney on December 2nd. Activists in Los Angeles are demanding that the LA Unified School District declare a state of emergency in response to a flood of racist text messages sent to Black Americans across the country, and that includes high school students. Fox 11's Hal Eisner has more on how community leaders in LA are responding.
We have to take, in this climate, or in any climate for that matter, where there's hate, you got to take these things seriously.
For the second time in 3 days, community activist Earl Ofari Hutchison went to the news cameras to beg for the LA Unified School District to take action to protect students of color who have been getting these text messages. They started arriving the day after the presidential election. They all vary a little bit, but essentially they say you have been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation. Be ready by 7 p.m. November 6, 2024, with your bags packed. Our executive slaves will pick you up in a black and white truck. The LA School District issued a statement saying they're aware of the offensive and racist text messages and condemned them.
But action, action, action.
Hutchison didn't see more visible security guards on campus like he wanted, and there was no plan for that in the LAUSD statement. Today, Inglewood Mayor James Butts told us it is disgusting that anyone would exploit the divisions in our country with such ignorant and hateful speech. Hopefully, the FBI can identify the person or persons responsible.
Obviously, it's despicable, the message and the text that are going out.
Steve Cobb is a cybersecurity expert. To him, the information is coming from data hacks. But from where?
Could this be sourced from outside the U.S.? 100% it could. I'm not saying that it is, but I'm saying it very well could be, because that data is available on the dark web, and anybody can access that.
And that was Fox 11's Hal Eisner reporting for us tonight. These texts are under investigation in several states across the country, and leaders of several civil rights organizations have condemned those messages.
Then the whole front of the house, like I was standing in the window, pushed in, but then I just heard bang, bang, bang.
Fences knocked down, windows broken, just some of the damage left behind after a rare tornado in the Pacific Northwest. Coming up tonight, how victims are now getting by.
And in weather, here's our live camera. Some fresh raindrops on this live camera in Seattle. Current temperature of 52 degrees and some rain, and still a stormy forecast for tomorrow. We'll have the update coming up.
Also coming up tonight, turning the tables on a suspected con artist. See how police in one small Nevada town busted someone who's suspected of trying to scam a woman out of tens of thousands of dollars. Welcome back. You are taking a live look tonight at Los Angeles International Airport, and the FAA has halted all air travel from the United States to Haiti for the next 30 days. This move comes after a Spirit Airlines plane was hit by gunfire yesterday as it attempted to land in Haiti. That Spirit plane was just a few hundred feet from the ground when the pilot aborted the landing and diverted to the Dominican Republic. A flight attendant did suffer minor injuries. A JetBlue plane was also hit by gunfire during takeoff. The U.S. Embassy says the violence appears to be gang-led efforts to block travel throughout Port-au-Prince. The UN estimates gangs control about 85% of Haiti's capital, and officials are warning that political chaos in the country could lead to even more violence. Some people along Oregon's coast spent the day cleaning up after a rare tornado there. That twister touched down late last night in Rockaway Beach, causing damage to several blocks. Fox 12's Mackenzie Richmond spoke with neighbors who were shocked to see this type of severe weather hitting their community.
We're seeing quite a bit of damage from the tornado that blew through Rockaway Beach last night. Roofs were ripped from their homes, garage doors completely knocked in, fences uprooted from the ground, windows shattered, and the debris from the storm scattered all over the neighborhoods. Some of the worst damage is at the Neocani School District's building. There's broken windows, damage to the roof, and even the entire dugout at the baseball field was uprooted from the ground. Thankfully, no one reported any injuries, but there was a temporary power outage after a transformer blew out along North Beacon Street. While tornadoes are rare in Oregon, they're clearly not impossible.
That's my first tornado in Oregon. I didn't even realize it was a tornado. It was really powerful, and I heard it coming, and then the whole front of the house, like I was standing in the window, pushed in, like the window pushed in, the frame, everything. I opened the window to let some pressure off so it wouldn't explode, but then I just heard bang, 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 and then it was over. In just 10 seconds or so, it was gone. it seemed like.
The National Weather Service reported the tornado happened just before 9:30 last night. According to the school district, the path of debris shows the tornado came from the wayside and went up between 3rd Street and Nehalem for a few blocks. Rockaway Beach has experienced high wind damage in the past, but this is the first tornado in the beach town, according to the National Weather Service. Unfortunately, the windy weather is not over. The National Weather Service issued a high wind warning in effect until tomorrow morning, with winds up to 40 miles per hour and wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, and also a high surf advisory today with potential breakers up to 26 feet. Take a look at the waves we're already seeing here along the coastline. Officials are advising folks to stay well back from the water's edge for your safety. From Rockaway Beach, Mackenzie Richmond, Fox 12 Oregon.
And further away from the coast, more extreme weather. Heavy snow created near whiteout conditions in Utah today. The state's Department of Transportation posted this video online showing what drivers east of Salt Lake City were facing today. Authorities are urging everyone in this area to slow down because of these dangerous conditions with that storm. For more, let's bring in KTVU meteorologist Mark Tamayo, who is tracking these systems sweeping across the west. Hey, Mark.
Hi there, Alex. Yeah, the radar definitely picking up on that snow coverage, as you can see out toward parts of Utah. We'll go ahead and reset this. You can see the rain showers and the snow showers showing up on the radar widespread here in parts of Utah, moving into Colorado. As you have been hearing also about the stormy weather up in the Pacific Northwest. Here is the radar imagery right now from Medford, Oregon, all the way up to Seattle, a big band of rain, and where it's cold enough, of course, we do have the snowfall. And the wind, as the wind has been picking up, those winds out of the south leading to this wind advisory until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning up in parts of Washington and in Oregon. We could have gusts going up above 45 miles an hour. So some strong winds up to the north. In terms of the rain and the snow, the focus, as you can see, is up here into your Wednesday, and it continues into your Thursday. But you'll notice some activity moving into portions of Northern California as well. So San Francisco, the rain chances will be going up for tomorrow. Here's a look at the satellite, as you can see here. So this is the system for tonight and into tomorrow, as some of that energy begins to move into Northern California, approaching San Francisco for tomorrow. But right now, the main action is focused up to the north, with the wind advisories and the rain back in their forecast. And here's some of the coverage right now with the cloud cover showing up on the satellite. In terms of the rainfall, clearly the focus is up toward Portland and Seattle over the next few days, but even Eureka up in Northern California getting some significant rainfall and the possibility of some rain showers approaching Southern California, as you can see later in the day, Thursday, especially by Thursday night. This was Seattle today, picking up the cloud cover, 0.04, but we are adding to that right now at chilly 53 degrees. In San Francisco, some sunshine after some rain showers yesterday. A break in the rain, just partly cloudy skies. And in Phoenix, no clouds to speak of in this camera shot earlier today. Temperatures in the upper 70s, 77. So here's the plan for tomorrow. Stormy up to the north. Rain develops for San Francisco for tomorrow. Sunshine out toward Denver, and then mostly sunny skies for Southern California, also out toward the Phoenix area. So here is the forecast. As you can see, still multiple rain clouds for Seattle for Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday. For San Francisco, rain chances going up for Wednesday. Sunshine out toward Denver, also out toward Phoenix. Temperatures in the 70s to the 80s. And in Southern California, as you can't see here, maybe some clouds by Thursday night and into Friday. But clearly the focus will be up here, with the rain, snow, and the strong winds will continue over the next few days, Alex.
Yeah, the wet weather sticking around for a lot of folks. Mark, thank you. A children's book author charged with killing her husband has been denied bail for the second time. Corey Richens has been in jail in Park City, Utah since May of 2023. She's accused of poisoning her husband by putting a deadly dose of fentanyl in his drink. Shortly before Richens was arrested, she published a children's book about a child who lost their father. Richens' trial is set to begin April 28th. In Southern California, firefighters are gaining ground on the devastating mountain fire, but new access to burned areas has revealed even more damage. Crews continue to tackle the fire from the ground and the air, with more retardant drops happening. The fire has now burned more than 20,000 acres and damaged or destroyed about 300 different buildings, most of them homes, since it started last week. Containment has now grown to 54%. 6 people have been injured in the fire, and the fire has been fueled by strong winds and low humidity in this part of California. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, a special operation to nab a suspected scammer. Tonight, see how police in Nevada made this arrest and prevented an unsuspecting retiree from losing tens of thousands of dollars. Plus, a car goes airborne in Southern California. How police think the driver managed to crash into the second story of a home. Some terrifying moments for a Southern California couple after a car lost control and crashed into the second floor of their home. This happened early this morning in Chino. Police believe that car was speeding when it drove through a chain link fence and went airborne over a canal before crashing into the roof of the home and straight through an upstairs wall. 4 people inside that car were taken to the hospital. Their conditions are unknown tonight. The husband and wife who were inside that house were not hurt. Tonight, we're hearing from a woman who claims she attended one of Sean Diddy Combs' now infamous parties where investigators say the music mogul abused and manipulated women. Tania Wallace, an aspiring singer, describes the experience in a new documentary. TMZ presents The Downfall of Diddy Inside the Freak-Offs. Wallace tells TMZ she was flown to Combs' Miami mansion in 2018. She described seeing groups of people having sex, but there was something else that also caught her attention.
There was a moment, she said, where she saw what she initially described as little people who were wearing makeup that made them look like Japanese Harajuku girls. But when pressed, Harvey was talking to her and said, well, what exactly did you see them doing? And are you talking about little people, or are you talking about minors? And she paused and she said, I don't, it's like she paused and didn't want to say it. And Harvey said, do you mean there were people who were underage? She said that's what it appeared to be to her. Now, she also admits that she didn't get necessarily a clean look at this.
Now, in response to the documentary, Combs' attorney told TMZ that Wallace's accusations about minors attending parties is, quote, completely and categorically false. Combs is being held without bail still in New York after pleading not guilty to sex trafficking charges. The new TMZ documentary is now streaming on Tubi. Police in a small town outside Las Vegas believe an elaborate sting operation helped them to catch someone who tried to scam a woman out of tens of thousands of dollars. As Fox 5's Joe Vigil shows us tonight, cameras were rolling as officers caught up with that suspect.
A 75-year-old retiree was tricked over the phone into thinking her accounts were compromised, and not even her bank was a safe place for her money. So she went to 2 Mesquite banks and withdrew $45,000 in cash.
Using very manipulative language to get them to do what they want them to do, which is, of course, give up all their hard-earned money.
People lose money to scammers online and over the phone all the time, but this is where the story takes a dangerous twist.
This is very unique in that it was actually somebody coming to meet her in person to take the money.
Meeting her in person.
Correct.
Wow. The alleged scammer agreed to meet outside a Smith store to collect the money, which would be held for safekeeping. But the woman started having second thoughts and called police, who stepped in and decided to scam the alleged scammer. The woman told the suspect she would meet him in the Smith's parking lot, but it would be police he'd actually be meeting with. Police say when they went to make the exchange, the suspect got spooked and took off in his car. He didn't get far, as you see in this Mesquite police body camera video. Police say they pulled him over for a traffic violation. He was arrested. The suspect went to jail. The woman's money went back into her bank account. Joe Vigil, Fox 5 News, Local, Las Vegas.
And that does it for West Coast Wrap. We appreciate you watching. Have a great night.